Here you go, boys. Say, you both look like you got a furphy or two to tell.
G'day everybody and welcome to Crackin Furphys, the podcast where we catch up and crack a couple of bloody cold ones. Bloody Jesus Christ, I'm having an aneurysm at the start of a show.
You were just trying to say Crackin because we were talking about Crackin pre-recording.
Yes. I might have had a few too many Krackens yesterday. And joining me along the bar are my good mates Ash, Dan and Tom. And I've got one in person this time, which is very exciting. Ash.
Yes, I'm out of quarantine. I'm out of the prison, and I am here in your fabulous podcast studio, and I am so happy to be here.
Excellent. So let's have a crack for Ash, everyone. He's done his 2 weeks. I've got my Coca-Cola. You've already cracked your Pepsi Max.
Yeah, I actually already cracked mine. So I'll just get another one just for the crack sound.
We've got a sound here somewhere, don't we? It's very, yeah.
It was very quiet, but it was there.
It's on the same channel as the theme that's currently playing. So if we get rid of the theme, right, we lower that bad boy down. We've introduced ourselves, so now we just go to the crack.
Much better. That was me, everybody. Can't see it. What about you, fellas? Tom and Dan, how are you guys?
I'm all right. I start my new job tomorrow, so otherwise I'd be down there with you boys, but it's kind of the nervous energy starting to build up, but she'll be right.
Very, very exciting.
She will be right. So what have you got to ease the nerves for tonight, Dan? You got some nice drops there?
2 beverages today. One I'm halfway through. One I've got the Moondog Mango Ice Cream IPA, a little splice of heaven. And one waiting on the bench at the moment, something I bought entirely for the can, and it could be horrible. Jurassic Pulp.
Oh my god.
Comes from Germany.
Das is good, yeah.
The Germans do know their beer, so...
They do indeed.
I'm a bit worried, though. They're trying to sell it with obviously the marketing of Jurassic Park. They can't sell it on its own credence, just being a nice beer.
Pulp Fiction. So, but it's worked on me, I'll say that.
Is that what that is? Is it meant to be Pulp Fiction? Because I won't lie, I just thought of orange juice pulp when you read that out. And I was like, why would there be pulp in beer? What the hell?
Just a little bit of extra roughage.
Jesus.
But
just a bit of texture for your beer.
You speaking of oranges just gives me a bit of PTSD after your adventures in food in quarantine. So you might remember Ash had just made a very disturbing feature out of eating an orange the last week.
I did it twice, actually.
Yeah, this is really funny, guys, because he just does it on his Instagram stories, and he just takes a bite out of this orange. I'm like, oh my god, just like
skin and all.
Yeah, didn't peel it or anything. And then it just keeps going, and he eats the whole thing. And I showed my pregnant wife, and she's like, oh, and she started to dry reach him. Oh, take the phone away from her. She doesn't like that.
I was a little bit insane coming towards the end of my quarantine. That was, I think, on the last night, and because I had made a video not long, maybe the first few days of me eating a peeled orange, but I just filmed my face while I was doing it, and I didn't take the segments apart. I just ate it all together as though it was like an apple, and it was just so much orange juice running down my face and everything, and it looked like really disturbing, and everyone hated it. And then I got the other orange because I don't know what food they're going to give me because I just never check. And then I got another orange, and I was like, yes. And I took a photo of it, just put that in my Instagram story, just like with a little, I don't know what you'd say, the cheeky smiling face as emoji, just as the text. And so many people immediately were just like messaging me like, no.
Ash is the kind of guy that eats his orange with the skin on but peels his chicken nuggets.
Well, I actually don't like chicken nuggets. So.
Oh, yeah, true.
His vegan nuggets.
This is the thing with Ash, because he's recently gone vegetarian, and yesterday at our baby shower, I'm like, oh, have something to eat, man. It's all good. It's a barbecue. So I think the noodle salad also had bacon in it as well.
I did notice that because I was like, we'll have some noodle salad, and I was looking at it, I was like, there's fucking bacon in it. I just kept on forgetting numerous times throughout the day. Just have something to eat. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry, man. I feel bad. I'm just like, oh. Honestly, it was fine. I actually ate just before I went anyway, so I wasn't hungry. But then I before we came back here to record, I went to get something to eat, and I went to IGA, and I was like, man, they've got, even at the supermarket here, because the IGA here is quite small, I was like, there's like nothing vegetarian, so I just bought some burger rings, and that's all I ate yesterday, really, apart from breakfast early in the morning. I was going on
What about some fruit or something? What about that?
actually, I ate a few bits of watermelon at your baby shower.
Skin and all.
Yeah, it wasn't peeled.
that's-
Do you peel watermelon?
Well, that's the next video I want to see. It's just like holding a watermelon and just eating it.
Going ham on it.
Actually, no, you might not be able to fit the whole thing in. Like, it's pretty big. So
Like,
maybe
do I have to eat it in one bite?
I just want you to eat the skin around it and just be left with like the flesh of the watermelon.
just like an ear of corn. Oh gosh.
So Tom, what have you been up to, my man?
Not a great deal. We've had a lot of birthdays in my close family. My partner's dad's birthday was Friday, and my mum's birthday was a Saturday. Today's our day off, and then tomorrow night is my partner's mum's birthday. So she's all happening.
Yeah.
Birthday season.
It is. Yeah. So too many beverages being consumed lately. I think that I'm gonna have to pull up. Maybe next week I might be on the waters.
Well, we've gone with the fizzy drink tonight because we might have overindulged last night.
Yeah, like we didn't get like silly or anything.
No,
did we?
no, we weren't like blind drunk, but it was still enough.
It was enough. Yeah, I got to the pub and I'm just like, I need water. late at night, which is responsible and very responsible, boys.
It
Drinking
was
that
very
water.
responsible.
Yeah.
I could have said, you know what, I'm going to double down. I'm just going to dehydrate.
Just eat a heap of salt. That'll
Just shriveled up Drew sitting in the corner.
just look like a raisin.
A handsome raisin.
Yeah, very handsome raisin.
But a raisin nonetheless. but you know what? He'll be raising a son soon.
Oh, he will. He will. I like it.
Yeah, I'm very, very
Gotta be
excited
hydrated for that. And on that, I'll leave. So
that. No, honestly, then that was a wonderful segue.
It was.
It was a wonderful segue. I always hate it when it's just like, oh, that's a good segue. And it's just like everyone points out how good a segue it is and just ruins it. So I'm sorry about that. But it's one of those things that just kind of has to be done. But you were going to say you're going to leave. So you just have to clarify. But you're okay. You're allowed to stay on the podcast.
that pun has been forgiven.
That was just strike one, Dan.
That's your strike two. He's
Strike three will be my Furphy being a grandma falling over somewhere.
No, what was it? She didn't take her walking stick or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
Old grandma picks up walking sticks. Like, no, she got given it by her grandson. It was handed to her.
Dan's like, no, that one was the Furphy, and the reason it was a Furphy is because there was actually a typo in it when I wrote it.
He's actually an old man.
They actually weren't old at all. They just had a knee operation.
Oh, God. Yep, that's getting into technicalities there, and if somebody actually does do that as one of their Furphys, I'm in your state now, and I will come to your house.
I like it.
But yeah, I am very excited to be a father. Looking forward to it next year. We Chantel and I did know for a little while what gender we were going to have. The idea was to get the color in the cake, whether it's blue or pink, and cut the cake. And, oh yeah, find out what it is. And when I got like the sex of the child, I put it in my pocket, like I fold it, put it in my pocket. You don't get an envelope or anything. I was really surprised. He's just like, here it is. He just cuts it up, cuts it, and puts it, like folds it in half and just gives it to you. Like, oh shit. So you put it in your pocket and whatever. And it was in my top drawer, just in this room here. And a couple of weeks after, Chantel was like, do you want to look at it? And I wanted to look at it like as soon as I got it anyway. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. Because like a lot of the time I'm sort of fantasizing about like whether it's a boy or a girl or like what it will be. And it's like, you know, I'm really looking forward to either one. I just want to know so I can sort of mentally ready myself to get there. Whether it's because I predicted a girl early on. Like we did a thing at the baby shower where it's like, oh, guess what it's going to be, a boy or a girl? And a lot of people, it was kind of 50-50.
Well, that
And it
makes sense.
no, but you know, some people could have been like, oh no, definitely it's a
Bloody
boy.
dead set. It's gonna be a little boy.
Yeah, and one of Chantel's friends actually, she put together like a little care package with all this like cute baby toys and stuff, and it was all blue. And apparently, she said to Chantel, like, "No, it's a boy." Yeah,
Oh.
and
Well, there
like
you
she
go.
was so adamant, and it was. I'm like, wow, that's
She's a clairvoyant, it turns out.
yeah. So
Imagine if it just wasn't, and she'd be like, well, I'll go return all of these gifts.
well, you know, I don't think it's such a big deal that a little girl has to play with a blue stuffed elephant. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
I mean, it's just a color after all. It doesn't. I mean, I think
You
back in
say
the
that,
back in the 1800s, I think pink was a boy's color there anyway. So
Oh, was it? That's cool.
I think pink is a very universal color this day and age anyway.
Yeah, I love pink.
I was
Pink's awesome.
I was wearing a pink shirt at your baby shower,
Yeah,
so
you're like a little flamingo.
I was.
Getting around. It was very,
It
very
was also
gracious.
standing on one leg.
You say that, but Hitler was introduced to pink at a very young age.
what?
Oh, it's
What you
true.
mean like the pop star pink?
That's what I was thinking. Just like, yeah, because
Yeah, they were good friends up until he became a psychopath.
yeah. Well, I guess Hitler. He had if it's the same law from Wolfenstein, he can go into the future, and he would have listened
this
to
is
Pink.
true. Yes, Wolfenstein's a weird game.
He really loves Get the Party Started.
Have any of you
Oh, no.
have any of you ever seen the it's like a short film, it's called Kung Fury?
No.
Yes.
Oh, it is so good. The main villain in that is Hitler, and he's the Kung Führer.
Oh God.
It's just the most insane piece of cinema I've ever seen, and it's so funny. It's just
Actually have-
so many puns like on top of each other. There's a cop in who's actually a triceratops, and his name is Triceracop. You have to watch it. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before.
God level
reminds me-
meme.
Have you guys seen Danger 5?
Oh, okay. So I know what this is, but I haven't seen it. But I've heard it's really good.
It was on Netflix. It was on Netflix. I think it was made in Adelaide, but you just reminded me of that because as it's like an old take on 70s spy shows and stuff, and or 40s spy shows. Because at the start of every show, I've got the director to it who sends them out on their mission, and it always finishes with the tagline, "And as always, go kill Hitler."
Fair enough.
I like it.
I'm just looking it up now. Allied Super Team Danger 5 reunite after years of far-flung obscurity of stop Hitler's ultimate quest of world domination in the 1980s. Excess-soaked universe of neon ninjas, discos, dinosaurs, pizza, and prom queens. Is it Australian?
Yeah, it's Australian.
Yeah, it's made in
Yeah.
Adelaide.
I think it was originally on the ABC.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's got like a Hitler just like
In a varsity jacket.
oh my God, just a high school student. Jesus Christ.
I just think of like that meme of Steve Buscemi who's like, "How do you do, fellow kids?" Except it's
Hanging
Hitler.
out there with his skateboard.
And his toothbrush moustache.
No, like we need these comedies making fun of Hitler because Hitler is he is the A1 example of being a fucking asshole.
He's a bad person.
Hot take.
oh well, please explain yourself, Dan.
So Dan has a differing opinion on this, apparently.
Please,
He was a bad person. I say he was a very bad person.
Oh, so this is how you word your furfies as well, is it?
Yeah, one of his stories is Hitler is bad. It's like that was the furphy
Because he was actually
awful.
very bad.
Well, speaking of furfies, shall we crack a few?
Oh, I reckon we should there, Tom. All right, boys, let's crack these furfies. Who would like to get into theirs first?
I'll go first. I want to get these out of the way. I wrote them in about 2 minutes after I got here because I hadn't got them ready. I don't currently have internet where I am in Southend, so yeah, I threw these together. Well, I was putting them together as I could see your faces on the monitor when you were talking shit about us.
He had to run around town just looking for like what's happening and write that down.
Yeah. So story number one. Hitler was a bad person.
Story number 2. Hitler was
A very bad person. Story number 3, Hitler was okay. Okay, so no. Story number 1. Original manuscript for George Orwell's 1984 featuring omitted talking cat character sold at auction for record-breaking amounts. Story number 2. Shaving foam tradition enjoyed by hundreds of students at St. Andrews University. That's a really very ambiguous article headline I've just realised. Story number 3. Sexy Bernie Sanders costume might be this year's scariest Halloween costume.
Okay, so I know a couple of these that.
a couple. Jesus Christ, Tom.
So Tom already knows which one's the... All right, I'll just give you information on all 3. So we go back to George Orwell's manuscript. George Orwell's original manuscript for 1984 was famously very different from the final publication. The original version of the story featured several characters that were eventually written out of the final story, including a talking cat that worked as a spy for the dystopian government. The manuscript sold for a record-breaking £1.4 million, which is roughly $2.58 million Australian, and was bought by a private collector. And story number 2, the shaving foam one. Hundreds of students have been enjoying the traditional Raisin Monday shaving foam fight at the University of St. Andrews in Fife. The tradition sees first-year students dress up in costumes before being covered in foam. That's all I've got written down for that. I did write these very quickly, and the quality definitely shows. Story number 3, Bernie Sanders' sexy costume. The idea behind the costume came from the images of the 80-year-old Vermont senator's cozy outfit at the January event. It doesn't say what the event is, but everybody knows the meme. According to the costume description, the look is meant for you to be a viral internet meme. This political chairman costume comes with a grey coat, cozy mittens, and a face mask for a total Insta-worthy moment. I've seen a picture of it, and it's... I don't know, it kind of just doesn't look like... Like, if you saw someone wearing that, you wouldn't think, Bernie Sanders. It's just
You just look cold.
It's just like a sexy Halloween costume. You just look cold. Well, you'd be definitely colder in this version of the costume. I'll say that much.
But you might not be able to tell it's Bernie Sanders. But the important thing is, would you say they're sexy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think
any 80-year-old man wearing that, I would find very sexy, yes.
Heck, do not. All right, what do we think? So... Who would want to dress up as a sexy Bernie Sanders? That's
I mean, I would want to do that.
Would you be able to pull it off though, Dan? You'll just look like a young Bernie Sanders.
a young, sexy Bernie Sanders.
Why, thank you.
Stupid, sexy Sanders. That's good.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing.
Don't think sexy farts. Don't think sexy farts. Goddamn sexy Sanders.
Biden's just sitting there going, no!
Now, there's this shaving foam tradition. They're just getting covered out?
I saw images of the fight, and yeah, it looked like they were just...
They're just having a
fight
shaving
in
foam
quotation
fight.
marks. I think they just throw shaving foam on each other. There was a lot of them, and they were all covered in shaving foam.
Just gonna have a good old shave up, eh?
Oh, that caught me off guard.
Maybe they're a swimmer. Maybe they're all swimmers, and they just, you know what? Let's make an event out of it.
Let's just all become aerodynamic.
Well, it didn't say whether that was the case or not, so they could have been.
Hey, I'm putting extra context in there for the boys.
And what was the name of the talking cat in 1984?
The article either didn't say or I didn't read ahead enough to find that. As I said, I did throw these together very quickly, and I was just copy pasting like first paragraphs, which is why they're
and say his name was probably Kevin.
Sounds about right. Kevin sounds about right.
Or at least the not Russian translation of Kevin.
Vladimir.
Dmitry.
Anyways, I'm going to lock in story number 1.
Anybody else going to lock anything in?
Dewey's thinking. Dewey's thinking. Is Tommy thinking?
I'm thinking. I've thought.
Oh, well,
I believe he knows.
I don't want to.
oh, right. I was sort of, yeah.
Oh, you're looking for a hint in Tom's, perhaps.
Well,
Yeah, well,
I know,
kind of was, yeah.
I know one's 100% correct because I've seen it and I was going to put it in mine, but I was like, is that really going to be applicable? Is that newsworthy?
You
I
are
was
the
like,
sexy Sanders.
Well,
You know it's correct.
maybe. And I'm going to go ahead and lock in
Actually,
number 2.
yeah, number 2. Yeah, sounds about right.
Are you going number 2 as well, Dan?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I can confirm that Dan is correct, and I don't think there even is an original manuscript of 1984 by George Orwell. I made that up on the spot.
Talking cat version, though.
I would love if that existed and was real. That would be awesome. I'd definitely read that. But no, I made it up. maybe I'll write it as fan fiction.
Then it will be real, and then we'll go back and get an extra point. We will have
You'll posthumously get an extra point.
exactly.
Very nice.
Well, that sucked.
So I've got like a real sort of quick round before going into my proper ones. So I'll do this, then I'll chuck it back to you guys. But this is just a real quick one for Sony games coming from the PlayStation to the PC next year. See if you guys can guess which one. So one of these is correct. So the first one is Ghost of Tsushima comes to PC in 2022. Next one is Bloodborne comes to PC in 2022. The next one is God of War comes to PC in 2022.
I know which one.
I think maybe I know which one as well. Maybe I might be wrong though.
mean,
So actually, I don't know.
And I have not kept up with the gaming news at all, but I think I have a hunch.
I know
But I'm
2
not
of them
confident.
are like highly sought after, and they want them to be in there. And I know that one got confirmed the other day.
Oh, okay. So the reason I thought I knew which one it was is because I thought 2 of them were already on PC. I thought that Bloodborne and Ghost of Tsushima both already were. So that was my thinking, was that it would be God of War.
Well, none of these games are on PC at the moment.
I
So-
didn't know that. I was completely wrong. Well, I'll go with God of War anyway. I'll go with me first
I'll
stab.
go with God of War.
I'm jumping on that because it's right.
It is right. So God of War. I just thought I'd bring this up because this is fucking hilarious, guys. So I just see on Twitter, PlayStation puts up embark on Kratos's deeply personal quest into the brutal Norse realms when God of War 2018 comes to PC on January 14th, 2022. And just the responses to it are just like so funny. There's this guy called, what's his Twitter here? A PlayStation, like his actual name is PlayStation Snaps. And they just post, true PlayStation fans realize this is the beginning of the end for the PlayStation console. It's a sad day for PlayStation loyals and a great day for PC gamers. Big L PlayStation, sad day. And it's just like, there's so much of that just like posted underneath here. It's just so sad.
I just don't understand why anyone would care. It's not like the games are being taken away from the PlayStation. It's just people want to be mad. They just
People
want
are
to be mad.
fucking
Yeah.
tribal.
It shouldn't it be a good thing that it's available for everyone to play?
No, they want to be the only
it's a
ones that
good
have
game.
access to it.
Like it says like only on PlayStation on the box from, how long ago was it now? About 3 years ago. And people are like, oh, they lied to us. They lied to us, those
How
monsters.
dare they try and get another revenue stream?
So yeah, I just thought that was funny.
They lied. Well, at the time, it wasn't a lie. You can't be like, I don't think we should put that on the box in case in the future we don't have that.
Yeah, it comes to PC when the next console's out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, I'm up to go.
Let's go.
Go for it.
All right. Story number 1. Scientists have developed mini brains and they've just grown eyes. Story number 2.
Old
Self-proclaimed shaman accused of starting California fire said she was trying to boil bear urine.
Oh, don't do that. Stink like shit. Like piss. Like piss. Literally.
And story number 3. Man claims island in the Baltic Sea near Helsinki to be a new nation. Names it the free land of Torvalandus.
So that's too long a name. That's
It'll
not
never
good.
catch on.
Nah. I wouldn't go there.
All right. And now I'll just read through these stories.
Also sounds like a trap. The free land. Oh, I'll go there. Oh no, this sucks.
This wasn't a free land at all.
Rampant slavery all through there.
Oh, there's so many talking cats that report to the government.
Damn it, Kevin.
Story number Story number 1. New horrific state of consciousness just dropped.
Oh.
Many lab-grown brains have spontaneously developed rudimentary eye structures, scientists have reported in a fascinating new paper, as they unwittingly create an entirely new nightmarish form of being. The tiny human-derived brain organoids, grown in dishes, grew 2 symmetrical optic cups, which apparently mirror the development of eyes on human embryos. If this wasn't horrifying enough, the eyes appear to be at least partially functional as they respond to light by sending signals to the rest of the brain tissue. Researchers hope their work with the smooth brain blobs can help further understanding of the process of eye differentiation and in the treatment of eye diseases.
sounds
I
gross.
don't like that.
That sounds gross, Dan. Why do you even bring that here?
If that
Alright.
if that's the lie and you made that up, you need help.
Thought I'd just go to the other extreme after last week. Story number 2. A California woman professing to be a shaman who was arrested and charged with igniting a wildfire that has thousands of homes under threat claimed the fire was started inadvertently while she was attempting to boil bear urine, authorities said. Alexandra Suvernaneva, 30, could be sentenced for up to 9 years if convicted of starting the fire, according to officials. The fire has destroyed roughly 41 homes and 90 structures.
Jesus Christ.
She has pleaded not guilty, but is now reportedly thought to have ignited several fires across California. She said she had been hiking to Canada as the blaze approached Shasta County on Wednesday, documents noted. When she became thirsty and approached a puddle of what she claimed to be bear urine, she told forest officials she attempted to make a fire to purify it.
No.
The wood she hoped to use was too wet for the fire to start.
Fucking drink the wood, don't drink the piss. Jesus Christ.
She then drank the animal urine and proceeded on her journey, according to the report. She allegedly became caught some brush and called the fire department for help, who, when they requested she empty her pockets, she presented CO2 canisters, a lighter, and a green leafy substance she admitted to smoking that day.
Oh dear. Yeah, and just to clarify, as I drink the wood, I mean, just like,
I know what you mean.
try and get the moisture out the wood. Don't try
Boil
to
the
purify the
bear.
piss. Yeah, that's just fucking gross. I'd rather just chew on dry bark than because a bear. God, it will take just the smell.
Oh, it would be
She's been watching
horrible.
too much Bear Grylls.
Just those territorial animals.
Well,
just-
Bear Grylls drinks his
Oh.
own piss, so by proxy, it's the same thing.
I'll drink my own piss before I'll drink anything else's piss. Like, I think that's a, I had a few drinks last night. My pee looked really purified when I was coming out, so I wouldn't have too big a problem with that.
I mean,
and,
I would.
and moving right along to story number 3 now. There are thousands of small islands in the Baltic Sea, and Gustav Torvalds has had the bright idea to claim one of them for himself. Torvalds has attempted to claim ownership of the island of Musta Matala, a tiny dot in the ocean roughly 11 kilometers south of Helsinki. It is currently occupied by a lighthouse and not much else. There are hundreds of micronations across the world, such as the Principality of Sealand off the coast of Great Britain, the Republic of Molossia in the Nevada Desert, and Liberland on the banks of the Danube between Serbia and Croatia. Many of these micronations are not recognized by any major governments. Torvalds has attempted to claim Torvalandis to make a statement about climate change, saying that if something isn't done soon, his new country will surely be wiped from the map. If these big countries, such as America and Russia, don't do anything soon, the blood of Torvalandis will be on their hands, said King Gustav I.
Oh my god.
We are but a small dot in the Baltic, subject to the whims of the tides. If the sea levels rise with the melting of the polar caps, Torvalandis will submerge permanently beneath the waves. King Gustav has taken residence on the small rock to help his new country. In addition to making this climate change statement, he believes by making himself a sovereign nation, he will now be exempt from paying Finnish taxes.
Jesus.
The Finnish government declined to comment on this story.
There actually used to be a sovereign nation in Western Australia called Hutt River Province. I told someone about this kind of recently, I guess, and I looked it up when I did, and it doesn't exist anymore. It's been annexed into just Australia. But there were the guy that it was like a big legal loophole when he founded it, and he like named himself the king and everything, and they literally had their own military and had their own like military coat of arms and shit. It was so stupid.
Yeah, you just go on Fiverr and get like a flag made.
Etsy or something.
You add an extra star to the Australian flag or something.
All right. Well, I know where I'm leaning with this one. I am going to stab straight out at number 3, I think, just because I know that number 1 just to me sounds too weird to be made up by Dan. Dan's not that weird a guy.
Oh, Dan's pretty fucked up. Oh, come on.
And number 2...
I mean, I've got my own nuclear reactor in my bathroom.
He
so.
does. He does. That sounds like...
Oh, he's probably the one making the brains. And number 2, I think, also sounds very believable because I only learnt this while I was in quarantine, that if you boil urine, it actually makes phosphorus, and phosphorus is incredibly flammable. So the science in that, the chemistry in that definitely checks out. So I'm just going to stab with number 3.
Yeah. I'm going to go number 3 too, just because it is really out there. But the thing is, like, you can find really out there stories and then you can make a story which is like, oh, yeah, I guess that could happen. But...
Yeah,
and,
it's like
didn't actually happen.
Red herring. It's the believable ones that will catch you out.
And Dan, he's quite good at this game. So, but
Yeah,
I am gonna go number 3. We'll see how we go with that. What about you, Tom?
Well, I was leaning towards number 3 too, because both of you guys have gone there. I'm going to go with number 1.
Oh, Tom, you're gonna feel so left out, man. If
I will.
Well, if he's
what
right
I'm
though,
outlining.
it will be the ones with egg
True.
on our face.
or there's number 2 there still in the wind, which
The California shaman fire.
just the piss boiler.
I also did you say that she was hiking to Canada? In that?
Yeah, that's what the story says.
From California. That's a long way.
Fuck oath, that's a long way. That's a long car ride.
Can confirm that you've cracked the Furphys this week. It is
Hey.
Torvalandis is not a real place.
Yes. We got it. We got him good.
Nice.
Dan.
You should have jumped on the bandwagon, Tom.
I think it was something along the lines of when he said, the blood of these people will be on our hands. I was like, alarm bells started ringing then. I just didn't listen.
King Gustav's aggressive tactics have not reached Tom's ears.
No, they have not.
Oh well, at least there's an island out there, but isn't the land of the freedom. It's very much living on ancient traditions.
Does that island actually exist, by the way, or did you make it up?
It does exist, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
What's actually
Tiny
there?
little dot with a lighthouse and not much else.
Because I know you always do a lot of research into your stories. That one you did with all the Spanish place names got me good.
Yeah,
All right,
very
all
smart,
right.
Dan. Very smart. All right, I'll go next. Bring up my stories.
Rattle.
So, boys, this is kind of tech focused, I guess, because I quite enjoyed the gaming ones last week. So I did some sort of tech ones. There is a gaming story in here. So, story number 1 is Facebook reportedly rebranding around Metaverse. Next story is German ban of Dying Light on Nintendo Switch eShop affects multiple countries. So that just basically means that they can't release on the eShop in multiple countries, including Australia. And that's story number 3. Apple reveals brand new iPad with brand new M1 Pro and M1 Max system on a chip architecture.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I do know one of these is true, so I will guess last.
Okay.
But I'd love to hear some more details on them all anyway.
Story number 1 about Facebook. Facebook is planning a corporate rebranding, according to a report from The Verge, citing a source from citing a source with direct knowledge of the matter. The site is reporting that the company behind the social network is planning a change to its name to encompass its ambitions for building a brand new metaverse. Facebook is holding an annual Connect conference on October 28th, but The Verge says the rebranding could be announced sooner. So basically, they want to do this just to better their image because everyone hates Facebook. Story number 2, German ban of Dying Light on Nintendo eShop. So Dying Light for Nintendo Switch is unavailable digitally in Europe, Australia and New Zealand due to the lack of a German rating. The Techland spokesman explained that the reason of the title's absence is because Nintendo's European eShop is registered in Germany. Quote, the digital version is currently banned in Germany where the European eShop is officially registered. This is making it impossible to officially distribute the game in European countries, also Australia and New Zealand. And story number 3, Apple unveils a brand new iPad Pro with brand new chips. The M1 Pro and M1 Max can reach multiple speeds of up to 400 gigs per second, etc., etc. There's lots of tech in here we can get into if you like. It just talks about speeds, all of that. I'm a big Apple fan, so I'm excited about this. But boys, what do we think?
I mean, a rebrand's not going to help the public perception of Facebook being the absolute worst, so...
They're actually renaming it Cole Cassidy.
Yeah. Well, the story goes, they're not actually going to change the name Facebook, but they're going to change the way their corporation is structured. Kind of, it says here that it's similar to how Google restructured around the company Alphabet and how they did that. So that's what that's going to be happening there. But yeah, because Facebook, they're doing like the VR stuff and all that. They're doing like a fair few things that aren't just social media, but it's all just to suck our information dry to sell it off. Like
To zuck our information dry.
fucker.
Yeah, they've got their fingers in a lot of pies over at Facebook.
Yes, they do.
And quite a lot of pies. Too many pies, you'd say. Being
Potentially, yes.
9 billion people, however many users they have.
Don't you hate it when you're just like, oh, nah, I barely use Facebook, but then you use Messenger every day?
Yeah.
It's like, they got you, man. They fucking got you. Because, like, you don't want to be like, yeah, I'm not going to use it and just get rid of it. Then it's like, oh, I got to get people's phone numbers. I don't have that. I don't have any of your phone numbers.
Yeah, we all just talk on Messenger. Like, I was off Facebook until quite recently for years, and I had Messenger the entire time. Because it's just so handy to talk to people. Everyone's on it, so...
It's like, I don't, like, when I meet a new person, like, I don't ask for their phone number anymore, because if I'm on Facebook, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Why would I need it? I can call them and message them.
It was actually kind of annoying, though, when I was off Facebook. Every time I met someone new and we wanted to talk on Messenger and stuff, I had to reactivate my Facebook to add them as a friend and then deactivate it again.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I could get them on Messenger.
Yeah, they know how to get you. They know.
do.
They're not as silly as they look. They don't look very silly at all. They look like a massive corporation
Evil
that
corporation.
wants to suck us dry. But, yeah, what are we thinking, guys? We want more info... Oh, we've already got a little bit of information.
I would love more information past what you've already said. Yeah.
Nah, I'm going to angrily stab at number 2 with no information whatsoever.
Dying Light not coming to countries because of its...
It's
German eShop?
That's extremely plausible, knowing the state of video games classification in Australia and New Zealand.
It is 100% possible. I just think that at least... I think number 1 is probably the truest of all, because I think, I could be wrong, but I think I read something about Metaverse.
I think you were playing Persona.
I never saw it coming. But yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to stick with number 2.
Number 2. Just to clarify, though, that it's not because it's banned in Australia. It's because it's banned in Germany. In Germany, it sort of affects how it's distributed over the eShop across Europe, and we're tied in with Europe. So just to clarify that, yeah, make sure you're not thinking that it's because of the silly Australians.
What one are you going to go for, Dan?
I'm currently leaning towards... I'm going to go with number 2 as well, I think.
Number 2?
Based on nothing but a hunch.
I'm going to go with number 3, I think, because I know that number 1 is true. I did read that about Facebook. I also think that I'm only not picking number 2 because I think that game would already be out on other systems. I don't know why it would only be refused classification on Switch for a game that's already out.
The Switch port is coming later. like it's coming out now. Like this game came out 2016
Years
or
ago.
something.
Or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
No, yeah,
It's
that's what
old.
I mean
Or
though.
is it
Like it
coming
would
out now?
those older ones that it's been ported from are released there with rating. So I just don't see why this one would be refused rating when those ones are already out. So that's why I'm not picking that one. I'm going to go with number 3 with the iPad. Also, I've just never heard of that iPad story either. So
Yep. Well, Ash, you cracked the Furphy.
yes,
It's number
Nice.
3. There was an iPad release like last year or early this year, but it's actually the brand new MacBook that got announced.
He's done the Dan.
And Drew's story number 4, Grandma dropped cancer.
Hitler was bad.
So I knew that was a bit of a Dan story, but I thought I'll give him a little bit of his own thing there.
I like it.
So yeah, I thought I'd be able to get you with that because like no one gives a shit about MacBooks and that around here, but
Yeah, I am not an Apple person at all.
yeah, no,
Got
fair
a
enough.
Samsung phone and a HP laptop. So
So there is a iPad Pro with an M1 chip, but last week they introduced like a MacBook with like a beefed up version of that chip. There's 2 different types. There's the M1 Pro, which is Apple's first system on a chip, which is being put into like their laptops and everything, so they don't have to work with Intel anymore. And like just like the speeds and performance and the battery performance as well is just like pretty insane. So just as a bit of a techie, it's like really cool to look into and just like what you can do with sort of the mobile hardware they're making. I think Google's doing a similar thing too. They're making their own system on chips for their Pixel phones and stuff. So it's kind of like a cool little battle that's happening between these manufacturers where they're
who
competing.
can make the
Yeah,
other
I think like the
obsolete
competition's really good and healthy for the market too. The competition is what leads to innovation because
Yeah.
they have to keeping the audience interested.
Yeah, and it's really cool too because like Intel, like that's what the MacBooks have been running on for years, and obviously a lot of other laptops as well. But they're just being left in the dust by Apple at the moment. Like they are like, we're not using you anymore, and we're making some way better shit. So it's going to be interesting how they sort of jump back as well. With what
I
they're
don't
doing.
think they won't have that. Like, obviously, it'll be a big loss for them, but I don't think they'd have any trouble standing for it because they make all
Oh
of
no,
the
no,
PC
of course, yeah.
processors
Of
and
course,
everything like
of course,
that.
yeah,
So.
yeah. It is like a big loss to like lose Apple as like a customer, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're going to.
They're going to fold immediately.
No, but just like from their, they put ads out being like, oh, this is why you need to get the latest PC because it's got this and this, and it's like really sort of reaching like for something to complain about.
Clutching at straws.
Yes, very much. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about the Dan style Furphy.
Can
No, I
just say,
liked it.
You've got me twice in a row now with these techie stories, Drew.
But that's the thing. Like the things I'm like, I go and look at like random stories. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know. But like the stuff I actually keep up with, it's it might be something I can do to try and trick you bastards.
I reckon you should keep going with the tech ones because I think I've gotten both of them right.
Yeah. I thought I might have actually got Ash because I didn't. Because I noticed yesterday I said like, oh, I'm really keen to get the new MacBook. So I don't know if that was a giveaway, but
No, honestly, it didn't cross my mind at all.
he wasn't listening to it. He didn't give a fuck. All right,
Now
so-
that you've said it, I've linked it, but yeah, I didn't even cross my mind.
Alrighty. So I've pulled a iDruby format here, and I've just done dot points this week because I tend to waffle on and give myself away.
So Tom is the grandfather of putting in quality and information into the stories. Now he's the one winding it back.
Yep, dialing it back.
He's he's just released the original chunky iPod and wound it back to the smaller touch.
Oh, the iPod Classic was fucking
That's
sick.
it, the classic. What was it, like 120 gig?
Yeah.
160. Because I had one.
Yeah, you did. When I was a kid, I wanted one so bad.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I could not afford one. They were like
Was
$500.
expensive.
And
It lasted a long time as well, and I never filled it up.
when Chantel took over her business at the gym in town, it had like the previous owner had 2 iPods, like those big classic ones, and like they're useless now because you just want to like just go, oh yeah, follow your band, download,
Yeah.
and that's it. But they're just so cool to hold and feel anyway. Anyway, sorry, Tom.
No apologies. Okay. Story number 1. Alec Baldwin told gun was safe before fatal shooting. Story number 2. Arnott's announce beloved Biscuit to be scrapped.
No, Arnott's.
And story number 3, Scottish man finds second message in a bottle from Canada.
All right, I know one of these is true.
Yeah, I also know one of these is true, and I reckon it's the same one that Dan knows.
Yeah,
I think most
so.
people.
I don't think we could avoid that news story.
Oh, so we all know which one it is.
Yeah.
I can't believe that happened. This is probably going to like ruin his life just about.
All right, Tom, just give us this information about story number 1, because we all know that's not the Furphy.
Yeah. So
Because
the gun actor Alec Baldwin fired a gun on set that he was handed by the director that killed the cinematographer Helena Hutchins. The bullet not only travelled through her chest, but then hit another person behind her, gravely wounding him as well. They were both taken to the hospital, and Helena Hutchins died.
Yeah.
It's very, very horrible.
Very awful.
Yeah. And
Apparently, the set also had safety concerns earlier in the week before this incident as well.
yeah, there's a lot of things being in question by the producers and stuff like that, but apparently Alec Baldwin is just fully cooperating with the police. He's like, if you need to take me anywhere, put me in jail, hold me, whatever, just go for it. He's like, I swear on my life that I got told this thing was safe.
Yeah, I don't think Alec Baldwin did anything wrong in the situation. He's like had this happen to him because somebody else has messed up somewhere in the line.
He had no reason to believe he could hurt someone.
Yeah, exactly. It was meant to be a prop gun. It wasn't meant to have bullets in it.
Yeah, so did it actually have just a real bullet in it instead of the fake just explosive that makes the
I think
sound?
that's uncertain at the moment,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
the main thing that people know is that the armorer or the prop master had fucked up, not Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alec Baldwin's like, he puts his hand in his pocket. No, is that the fake one? Or is that the bullet? No, is that they're my keys. Oh, just
Somebody's
feel
giving
around.
him like a little prop, like just a Glock or something, and he's just pulled out like an AR-15.
Yeah.
He's also like vehemently against like guns and gun violence. As well.
I really
he's
like Alec
basically-
Baldwin. I think he's a great actor. It's very unfortunate for
He's
him.
going to be beside himself, and
Oh,
wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised if he retires from acting or anything.
Could you imagine if it happened to you? Yeah, exactly. Just like, just on set, and you want to be making stuff with some very awesome creative people, and you end up, that ends up happening.
Yeah,
That'd be
you
awful.
kill someone by accident. No, I reckon if that happened to me, it'd probably ruin my life.
Oh, yeah.
I think it
so.
would to most people. All right.
Yeah, give us some information on the ones we don't know.
Yeah, give me some information on Arnott's.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
God, I hope this is a Furphy, Tom.
Yeah, well,
It depends what biscuit it is.
That's true. Could be a shit biscuit.
yeah, it could be a shit biscuit.
If you say the Monte Carlo, I'm going to Arnott's after we finish recording.
turns out it's the teddy bear.
That's even worse.
I guess if we have any international listeners, Arnott's, they're Australian, Australian biscuit company that make a lot of great tasting biscuits. Anything from your savoury shapes. They come in multiple flavours. They're personally my favourite. And of course, a bunch of other nice sweet biscuits as well.
Sorted creams.
Oh,
The milk
yes.
arrowroot.
Oh,
Oh, the ginger snaps. Love me a good ginger snap.
The chalk ripple.
It's such a household name in Australia. Everybody knows Arnott's and everybody knows like all of their products.
Yeah. All right. So it's been recent years have been a tough time for the snack food industry, despite how many people have been stuck at home in quarantine. Figures from the 2020 to 2021 year has shown a 13% drop in people trending away from childhood favourite snacks. Arnott's have announced that the Kingston will finish up in 2022.
Oh.
Following sales reports indicating that a particular biscuit hasn't sold quite as well as other favourites.
The Kingston.
Yeah, I don't actually know what the Kingston
What's the Kingston
is
again?
off the
I
top
do.
of my head.
I think
That's the town with the big
Monte
with the big crayfish.
it is. Get rid of that, it
so
smells.
it's smaller than all of the other assorted creams, but it's got like that chocolate
Yeah, I thought
kind
it
of
was
layer in the
I
middle.
thought it was like a coffee flavored Monte Carlo.
Kind of. It's probably the best way to describe it. It's just smaller and more round rather than being oval. But
Okay. I've just looked it up. I do know them. They are just like the two biscuits with the chocolate strip in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
get fucked. I love
they're
that.
great. The Kingstons.
All right, so Drew's heading to the Arnott's factory after this.
I don't know if I can show you, Dan. Have you?
It's a bit too far away.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Brought
at
up a pop-up anyway. Let's just forget that happened.
Yeah. So
all. So Kingston Southeast is cancelled.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, no more big.
Some
lobster.
footage of Larry the Lobster from his early days was released of him being racist, and now Kingston is cancelled.
I prefer the town gets cancelled than that biscuit. That is delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I've got
No stop between Millicent and Meningi now.
I've got a fun anecdote about Kingston quickly. I was talking to one of my friends that lives in Perth recently, and he was telling me that his girlfriend, he was saying to me that she came to visit Mount Gambier area once, like when she was a lot younger with her mum, and they went to Kingston from Mount Gambier. And I was like, why would you go to Kingston if you're in Mount Gambier? That's red flag number one. But they went there because presumably they don't really know the area very well. Should have gone to Robe. And they went there and she said that they went down the beach and there was a dead pig with its stomach cut open and just its guts hanging out on the beach. I was like, that sounds like a very Kingston thing to happen.
Wow, I love rural South Australia.
Where did the pig come? They
I don't know. He said they just left. They didn't want to know any more information about it. I was like, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Or is it Kingston, Jamaica that's cancelled?
Is that the capital of Jamaica?
That's the capital.
No, it's Sean Kingston. He's been cancelled.
I'd prefer
Big thing
Sean
too much
Kingston be
about beautiful
cancelled
girls.
than the Biscuit. Let's be
Oh,
honest.
definitely. I don't even know who Sean Kingston is.
Kingston's actually the big.
Who is
Arnott-
Sean Kingston? Sorry.
Beautiful
he sings-
girls.
Yeah. Beautiful
Oh.
Girl, that's why it'll never work.
Yeah, cancel him.
Make me suicidal.
I think we're going to get cancelled for this terrible recital. Yeah, the Kingston's actually one of my, because the big Arnott snack pack with all the different biscuits, that was like my favourite part.
Yeah, so
Distorted creams, bro.
Yeah.
what's going to happen to that sort of pack then? Is it going to
gonna
go
go-
away? Is it going to be smaller without those biscuits in it?
Probably
Without the
smaller
Kingston?
and still the same price.
I'm going to go out and get a pack of assorted creams in tribute after this.
Further ahead that I read down in that article, it said concerns about those assorted cream packs. Like you've just
Oh,
said,
there you go.
they will increase the size and amount of everything else in there, and the price structure will stay the same. So you probably get like another 2 Monte Carlos and like another orange cream or something like that.
The Monte
they could
Carlo-
got rid of the orange cream.
The Monte Carlo's another top tier one for me, so I'm all right with that one being increased. But I don't know anybody that was like, yeah, I love me the orange creams from the
Nobody
snack
likes
pack.
the orange cream.
Get rid of those ones.
Yeah.
Who wants to eat
After
a
all this-
biscuit that tastes like orange?
The problem
No
is,
one.
if this story is true, Arnott's have the data. They know what's going on. They know that it's not selling.
Yep.
And
But-
I think
but
it's just
also-
up,
Is
it's up
this
to us.
also a marketing scheme like when they changed the shapes flavors? Because that was also Arnott's.
It was. Fuck.
Also, has
God, what do
anyone
they do to
ever
those
seen-
shapes? Jesus
Has
Christ.
anyone ever seen an individual pack of orange creams?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Because I'm just thinking back to the last time I was in the supermarket, and I don't remember seeing a pack of orange creams on the shelf.
How often do you go shopping, Dan?
Not often enough, maybe.
It's been 20 years.
Anyway, after all this talk about biscuits, I've completely forgotten story 3.
That was Scottish man finds second message in bottle from Canada.
Second message.
I could certainly hope that this one is true, so that the biscuit one can be fake.
Yeah. I'm going to look in story 2.
A man walking on the beach in Scotland has found a message in a bottle and discovered it was the second such message to travel across the Atlantic Ocean from the same man in Canada. Andrew Eaton Lewis, a 48-year-old UIG resident, posted about the discovery on Facebook seeking help translating the message, which was written in French. He found the bottle washed up on the beach during a recent outing at Cliff Beach with friends and family. He thought it was just waste, but when he got closer, he saw that there was barnacles on the bottle with a message inside. And this is the second one that's been found around that area. Previous one was found by a woman called Mary Bird, containing a similar message in French.
I think that actually sounds quite plausible because I think I've read somewhere that like messages in bottles and just things that go into the ocean, if they enter at the same place, they tend to actually show up at the same place just because of ocean currents and stuff.
Actually, there's that thing, a container of rubber ducks, like capsized in like the 90s, and they have been found all over the world.
Oh, okay, maybe I was wrong then.
Another important piece of information that I don't want to leave out is the message was dated January 26th, 2020. So it's taken roughly a year and a bit. Well, almost 2 years.
Excellent.
All right, well, what are your guys' thoughts?
Story number 2. Keep those Kingston. Save our Kingstons.
Hashtag save the Kingstons. All right, let's go for it, Dan. Let's start a movement here on Crackin Furphys. Story number 2 it is.
Vote with your wallets, boys.
I really want it to be story number 2, but I'm actually going to go with number 3 just because I feel like the visual of a bottle covered in barnacles just seems too Treasure Islandy for me. And I'm going to go with...
Yeah, sounds like if it was 2020 that it was dated, barnacles, would they latch to it that quickly? When
I don't know that also, like, how would they even get on a bottle? I'm going to go with number 3.
Oh, fuck that. No, well, I've locked it in. Doesn't matter.
I want to be wrong. I want it to be Kingston's. I mean, I say this despite the fact that I haven't had an Arnott's pack in so long.
That's what I mean. Like, regardless of our feelings, they have the data.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, if you want to keep them, then fucking buy them.
Buy a pack a day. Then they'll be like, yeah, we'll keep making them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with number 3.
All right. I'm happy to announce that the Furphy is number 2.
Oh, yes. I've never been so happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord.
I was like,
Thank
what
the Lord.
can I do that'll tug on the heartstrings this week?
Yeah, it fucking worked.
No, who gives a shit about Alec Baldwin? We've still got our Kingstons.
Good news, Kingston SC, you're still a town.
No matter how much pig viscera may lay on your beaches.
Yeah, the Kingston biscuit definitely smells better than the town.
That's for sure.
Look,
We don't call it Stinkston for nothing.
the people of Kingston are, they're good people, I assume. But it's mainly just all the seaweed and that just gets caught and just
Kingston
rots. It makes the town stink.
Kingston is a very smelly town, even for fishing towns.
Yeah. It's no beach port.
I should also point out that I don't actually hate Kingston. I just talk smack about anything that crosses
It's a
my
very
mind.
convenient stop on the
Kingston's
drive down the road.
it's a very nice town.
The on-the-run servo is a lifesaver.
It genuinely
On the way
is.
to Adelaide, it's a great convenience. Get some hot
It
dogs.
means-
Chantel
means
really
you don't
hyped
have
up
to-
those hot dogs, and it's just like a soggy hot dog. I'm like, it's an $8 like hot dog. What the fuck? man?
Also, I think there's a takeaway shop under Larry the Lobster now, which is giving
there is?
them
Is there really?
OTR run for their money, I think.
I really hate that it's called Larry the Lobster because we don't call them lobsters.
Yeah, no.
Crayfish.
Craig,
Rock
Craig.
Yeah, we call them crayfish, but they're technically rock lobsters. That's like their
I think like a crayfish is just another name for a rock lobster, but
Yeah.
in Australia we call them crayfish.
yeah. I think it's just like if they want like that international tourist money, they just go, oh, it's a lobster. If you go crayfish, or what the hell's a crayfish? I guess.
It should be Craig the Crayfish, and that's it.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. I like
Yeah,
that.
I think the locals would appreciate that.
Nobody else would. Everybody else would be like, what the fuck's a crayfish?
I think we should jump on the Simpsons money and just call him Pinchy.
Yep.
Oh, how
Agreed.
sad was that episode though? Like
He's like crying while he's eating.
so sorry.
Well, if the show wasn't off the rails before, it certainly is now.
Right, this show never got on the rails once we started talking about Hitler.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
We've talked about that many weird things that I forgot we even did that.
It seems like an eternity ago, but it's only about an hour ago. So, boys, that brings us to the end of this episode of Crackin Furphys. Anything else we would like to talk about before we head on off?
Well, we've discovered all the topics I wanted to cover, which was time-traveling Hitler, rock lobsters, pig viscera, and Alec
Arnott's
Baldwin
business.
accidentally shooting people. So I'm good.
I'm covered, yeah.
got my opinions in about the tiers of Arnott's. So
Yeah, I think I'm going to go buy some Arnott's after I leave here now. I really want some Kingstons.
I think you've got a career in
welcome.
marketing
You're
for
welcome.
them.
I tell you what, like
Tom is single-handedly
Yeah, just-
giving them marketing.
it just scared us, being like, oh fuck, we don't want any of these flavors disappearing from the shelves.
You know what? There's
so
actually
we've got to
just
go
like
and bulk buy them.
There's somebody from the Arnott's marketing team just like behind his webcam holding a gun over him. He's like, you better.
So we've actually
funny.
we've impressed a rep. It's just not the Furphy rep.
Just not the Furphy rep.
The Arnott's reps in at the pub, like, oh, thank you so much. But can you try and push some of these new shapes flavors? They really don't like salt and vinegar shapes.
Is that a thing?
It is.
Oh, that sounds
That's a real
awful.
thing, and I'm not going to buy them.
Because I
They've
love,
also got-
love salt and vinegar
they've also
chips.
got-
but the
Vinegar
shapes.
chips are the out of all of the original flavors, they're definitely the best.
What about the Sandboy ones from back in the day when you can add the extra flavoring?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I remember those.
I remember that. The Atomic Tomato ones came out roughly about the same time.
Atomic tomato sandboys are brilliant.
I used to love the chips, like the Smith chips. They came with like the Pokemon cards, the Digimon cards.
Oh, yes. I remember
Dragon Ball Z
taking-
Tarzos, all of that type of stuff. Yeah.
the
Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh like things. I remember
to have
dragging
some
my
of
dad
these
down to the
Tarzos.
servo to buy me like
Mod
multiple
Pods.
packs of chips.
Yeah. Do you guys remember? I think they were called Doritos 3D.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
And they're like puffed up.
yeah, they were puffed up like they weren't like the cheesy flavor or anything. And these were the only ways when I was a tiny kid to get like these EX Digimon cards. There was in the Digimon card set, there was like 6 sets with like the mega evolutions of like the villains of the Digimon anime.
Yep.
And you could only get these in these chips. And I remember being like, yeah, Dad, can I have these chips? And they taste like shit, like awful. like I couldn't eat, like as a kid, just like, you're gobbling down chips and you don't give a shit and you're just eating trash. I actually had like 2 of these chips and went, no, I don't want them. But did I want more of those packs of chips? Yes, I did. I wanted the EX Digimon
I
cards.
think they were like the poor man's Twisty or something.
I feel like we just need to do an episode where we just reminisce on Australian snack foods.
I think so.
The Crackin Furphys snack review.
Yes.
The Snackin Furphys.
Snackin Furphys. Just,
Coming to you soon.
yeah,
Because I've also got like southern fried chicken shapes and like 3 cheese shapes or something now. And
I have seen those.
yeah, right. Don't you think it sucks that the government stepped in and put regulations that you can't like tempt kids with like these toys and chips and that anymore?
Oh, is that what? I didn't even know that happened.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly like the government but there's definitely regulations that like, cereal can't come with toys and chips can't come with cards and all that type of
Then
stuff.
nobody ever would have played Age of Empires.
Yeah, exactly. In your
I
bloody
remember getting,
Kellogg's.
like,
Nutrigrain, yeah.
I got
I
so
remember
many
getting, like,
games
a
on PC through that.
Yeah.
Like before I had a Game Boy or any of this stuff, I played on my mum's computer and just like I got like this random game from like Ozkick.
You've told me
Like,
this story
just
before,
like-
actually.
And you get them from like your breakfast cereals and your Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Like I got the Sims 2 like complete set from like Pizza Hut for like $5 extra on top of my pizza one day.
That's
Yeah.
mine.
I'm showing my age a bit here, but years and years ago, we used to get some form of Uncle Toby's cereal, and we would get yo-yos in that.
Oh yes.
It's awesome. Yeah.
I used
Oh
to
man,
love
what
yo-yos
a
back in the
day.
day.
Sanitarium yo-yo.
Oh, so just like the idea of you, Tom, being like, I'm showing my age here, and then you just hold up a piece of paper that says, I'm 30.
Super literal.
I think we've lost Tom. I reckon he's just cut out.
I think he's just aged out of the stream.
Yeah, she has. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Crackin Furphys. If you enjoy the show, make sure you reach out to us on social media, on Twitter, all that type of stuff. And also leave us an Apple Podcast review. That definitely helps with the show, getting it out to new people. And it's just cool hearings from some people as well. Has some bit of feedback from random people, so it's been very cool to hear that. We're having fun doing the show, aren't we, Ash?
Yes, excellent fun. I love it.
Yes.
Very much enjoying it so far.
And what about you, Tom? You having fun there, mate?
I feel like he just heard my joke and we just went, nah, I'm done.
That's great timing, actually.
It was.
I think he's actually ducked down to IGA to get some assorted creams.
Yeah, he just
Oh, there, he's actually disconnected now.
Yeah. All right. With that, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
See you, Dan. Crackin Furphys is lovingly crafted and recorded in the southeast of South Australia. The show is produced and hosted by me, Drew Agnew, and my co-hosts are Ash Wallace, Daniel Treadray, and Thomas McRobert. If you enjoy my work here as well as on my other podcasts, The House of Mario, Encore at The House of Mario, and A Drew Story, help spread the word by sharing us with a mate or leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you would like to show further support and help me achieve my goal of freeing up one working day a week to spend more time refining and creating podcasts, please consider checking out patreon.com/idruby, where for only $1 you get access to my secret recordings where I share everything behind the scenes. A big thank you to the legend DJ for supporting the content at the podcast producer level on Patreon. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.